So, in continuation of the thought that we had before about clarifying our minds, we have now a piece, and this is part two. He says that our goal is to clarify our minds so that the talk, which I said, when I first met Rabbi MIMRAN, he used the word monkey talk. But he meant it's a constant conversation that's going on inside of your head. You have to realize that your lower self, it's a self that needs to preserve itself. It's the concept of having to live in a world of danger and reproducing and multiplying and do the whole thing. But there's a higher self, one that brings that about. And that's where we really need to connect. So he says, here's another thing to keep in mind. Beware of repetitive thoughts. Now, I'm going to try to translate this from the Hebrew. But he says, you have to know, ki hama'alos elyonos, when we get to the upper levels, nimshu lona b'mitzvah, that is the upper levels, that is real insight and high consciousness of godliness, are in the upper levels, and they come through positive commandments. So he says, Kamo ma'alos b'chira, for example, the real value. That's not quite the word. The ma'ala means the high point of a high point is bechira, the fact we have free choice. Then there's another ma'alos hadevekos, but also the elevation that one gets from clinging to God, shene'emer ubo tetabek, because it says that in Him you should cling. And that means that we have to be able to realize that the thoughts that are going in our minds all the time, that inside of those thoughts is where we want to be. We want to be the cause of all of that. What is the cause? And that is the Yud Kei Vav Kei. We've got to find it. And because of these different high qualities that a man can achieve, Nivra Ha'adam, man was created. Now that's an interesting thing, because we know that man sinned. We know that the humanity is cursed, that we don't live forever and we have to make a living here in this world and somehow survive. So he writes like this: the Creator gave you the gift of a mind so that it could serve you. The truth is, your mind is nothing more than a tool you can employ when you deem it useful. Who's the you? It is there to assist you with specific tasks, and when each task is completed, you lay it down. In most cases, some 80% of people's thinking is repetitive and useless. But the story doesn't end there. Because it's so often negative and dysfunctional, much of our thinking is actually harmful to us. To verify this, all you need to do is observe your mind for a short time without trying to influence or change your thoughts. Now, here is the key word in this sentence to me. It is observe. Watch your mind. Learn to watch your mind. Now, I know this is part of this idea. Repetitive, negative thoughts can become obsessive, even for people who are otherwise emotionally healthy. They drain one's vital life energy, and the consequences can be serious indeed. This kind of compulsive thinking is actually an addiction. You're constantly trying to analyze what's going on. What was the cause? Why did he do that? Why did the weather do this? Why did God do this? Why did anything? Why? He says this kind of compulsive thinking is actually an addiction. An addiction is simply an activity you feel you are no longer able to choose to stop. It seems that it is stronger than you. It's playing on a reel in your mind all the time. It's your reality. He says it's actually an addiction. Another characteristic of an addiction is that it gives you a false sense of pleasure. Pleasure that in there invariably turns into pain. Now, this is his point, but we can all gain control over our tendency for overthinking. It is an addiction that can definitely be broken, and painlessly, with the correct approach. So he needs to teach us the approach, doesn't he? Your mind is nothing more than a tool. Now think about this. It is there to assist you with specific tasks, and when each task is complete, you lay it down. These are the words of Rabbi Yosef Chaim MIMRAN, born in Montreal, Canada, lives in Gateshead in Jerusalem. This is Baruch Fleischman, your Saba here at the Tikkun Elevator Call-Out.